Winnie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm good. How's your week been?
It's been hectic.
What have you been up to?
So we had some orders during the week for my fruit juice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've been working on, and then doing deliveries.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
And what about the makeup side? How's that?
Well, the makeup side is quite slow.
Okay, it's because of COVID, obviously,
yeah.
not enough weddings
Exactly.
and stuff like that happening. Okay. Anyway, usually when we have our guests in, we like them to bring some reading material.
Yeah.
So what did you bring to share with us today?
Okay, I brought a piece from In the Chest of a Woman, written by Efo Kojo Malgbe.
Okay.
Let me take it.
Could you give us a little synopsis before you get into it?
So, In the Chest of a Woman is a playwright. It's about a kingdom where a woman wanted to rule, or a woman wanted to possess power.
Yes.
But then, when she had to succeed, it was rather given to her younger brother.
As is always the case.
Yes, because they said she was a woman and she couldn't rule. So before her mother died, the ruler of the kingdom died, the mother told them that whoever gives birth to the first male child will continue the legacy.
Okay.
Yes. So the two siblings, that's
so the lady and her younger
brother, whoever gave birth to the first son will take over from them. But then that wasn't the case. They both gave birth to girls. But then with the sister, she's called Nanaya, she hid the identity of her child and made her grow up to be a boy.
Okay, being treated as if you were a boy.
A boy, exactly. So the whole story is centered on how do I put it? There's a cover up, just because she wanted a woman to rule, which is her daughter, as a son.
Yes.
Nobody knew about it, so she covered up his.
It's a bit like Mulan. I don't know if you've seen the cartoon.
Think I have.
So there's a
cartoon.
Mulan.
Yeah,
you know how
I know
she also had to pretend to be a guy to go to war.
So that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's how she grew up to take over the crown, but it didn't end up that way.
Oh, don't tell everyone, because what you've given makes the book really interesting. So people might want to go out and grab it. So why don't you read the part that you're going to share with us?
Okay. So let me just share this. Before her son or her daughter, let me say her daughter's son, is going to take up the kingship, her brother, who is the ruler, sent for his nephew niece to come and start practicing the kingship rule.
Yeah.
So before the daughter's son left, she had to tell the son that this is what you are going to do, and then you are a girl, but then you've been treated as a boy. So when you go, just be careful. And the daughter's son was very adamant. She didn't want to accept it, right? She just wanted the mother to tell the truth, because she couldn't hide
the secret anymore.
But then the mother said, let me read. May you let me live to see the successful end of the wheel of change I have set in motion. A wheel of change that shall leave all men convinced that in the chest of a woman is not only an extension of the breast and a feeble heart, but a flaming desire to possess and use power. So that is a little piece I have.
Oh, you will not extend it a little more for us?
No, so she was just telling her daughter's son that she wants to prove to the whole world that a woman can be more than just a woman. The notion that a woman is just quiet and she has a feeble heart and weak and all that. She wanted her daughter to go and take
Just take all the privileges that she deserves as a human being.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's it.
Wow. Wow. And the title of the book again is?
In the Chest of a Woman.
And the author?
The late Efo Kojo. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So, I mean, this, I was thinking several things. Like when you mentioned about how the daughter didn't want the mother to maintain the secret. I thought, I hope it's not that she's met some boy somewhere and, you know, she now wants to prove that.
Not at all.
Not at all. Why you've read the book, why did the daughter not want to hold on to that secret anymore?
I should say she was quite afraid. She was quite afraid. And she wasn't as bold as her mom was.
So how old was she?
They didn't say that, but she was quite young.
Okay. Because I mean, because to have been brought up as a boy your whole life, I would have thought she would have had quite a bit of courage.
Nah, she didn't.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird, because obviously girls are brought up, oh, you have to do this,
Timid,
you have to do that.
yeah.
And so to be brought up without all of those restrictions, I would have expected her to be confident and everything, but it's actually quite interesting that she had that fear.
But the mom had faith in her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. Okay, people. So that was In the Chest of a Woman. It sounds like an amazing book, even though we just got a teeny snippet. But the book is out there in bookshops, so check it out. Winnie, what kind of makeup do you specialize in?
Okay, so right now I'm kind of like specialized in photo shoots. So I mostly do for models who come and do photo shoots for their own concepts. Yes.
Like setting up their portfolios and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay. And okay, but you do weddings and stuff?
I've not yet entered the wedding scene. So for now, I'm just the events. If you are going for a corporate event, if you are going for as a wedding guest, that's what I do.
So you're also like a bit of a psychologist as well, actually. Because I mean, it's like a really intimate thing to be one touching somebody's face, but also, okay. So I'm not really a makeup person. I will throw a little powder on my face and some lipstick to go somewhere. But I'm really fascinated by makeup, and what I really love, especially, there's a show called Drag Race, and it's a show for drag queens, which are men who impersonate women. And you know, they do a lot of these videos on Facebook where they do their full makeup. And it's
actually nice.
I find myself glued to it. I can sit there for one time. I sat watching somebody, and then afterwards it occurred to me that I'd spent 20 minutes watching somebody put makeup on their face. It's that fascinating. So I'm really happy that you're here, because maybe I'll learn, one or two.
Actually, that's how I started. Like, I'll just be there watching people do makeup, and it's be so fascinating. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this for someone. I can even do it for myself. So why don't I turn it into a business?
Oh wow!
So how I have it.
That one, you were on YouTube watching stuff and that like that. And what I know, you have like the natural juice business, but what were you? Because I mean, it wasn't that you were just one day watching Facebook or whatever, and then you were like, oh, I want to be a makeup. What was the journey?
Okay, so I grew up. My mom, she was a beautician. Yes, so I learned a lot from her. So she used to do people up, make their hair, makeup. Then times like the little makeup they knew.
The way you are saying them times, as if it was like 100 years ago.
It looks like 100 years ago. So that's where I picked up my small skills from. I learned from her, yes, and then I also learned from one or two people here and there. Yes.
But it was watching the videos that
Captured my attention more.
Captured your attention more. What was it about it? I mean, because obviously your mother is doing it, you're learning something, but what was it about those videos you watched that just made you say, yeah?
It's just a talent. That's what captivated me. Like, to see someone transform someone into another person, it's quite on another level. Like, you see, excuse me to say, a not so looking good person be glammed up to look like a princess.
But some of it, I think, is scary. It looks scary. I'll give you this thing that you were saying. There was a case in China where this man married this like super beautiful woman. I don't think he ever saw her without makeup. And then they got married. She became pregnant. She gave birth. And apparently when the children were born, they were crazy ugly. And the man was like, but my family is pretty and you're a beautiful woman. So where did this ugliness enter? Then they went to investigate. And once the woman, and you know that those Asian girls are really good with like the transformations.
Have a lot of stickers, they pull up their face.
Exactly. And it turned out that, you know, this woman wasn't as attractive as her husband thought. And it ended up in divorce. And he told her she should carry her ugly children with her. Can you imagine? so, and then you also hear stories of, you know, guys complaining about, you know, they meet a woman, she looks like this, and then another time you go and meet her and she looks completely different. So it's like deception. Would you say makeup was a form of deception?
To some extent. To some extent, I would say it is.
So from the psychological end of it, why do you think, because obviously makeup has become a really big deal. I mean, social media has really pushed it. What do you think is driving that? I mean, apart from people wanting to look, you know, good, everybody wants to look good, but
looks good.
You know,
I think it's society. Society looks at a person, and then if you are not in a certain way, then you are not part of society. So
who in the society makes that decision?
Especially the ladies.
Because it's always
if you are not following the trend, then you are left out somewhere. So,
but isn't out somewhere even the best place to be? At least you are not under pressure.
So it's a pressure.
Yeah,
it's a pressure. Some people can't stand pressure. Some people, they don't mind the pressure. Some people, whatever you do, they won't change. But some people, so far as there's pressure, wherever they are going, they always have to look good. They always have to look fine and all that. So I think it's society.
On average, how long does it take to, you know, slap on all that makeup?
On average, I say 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Okay, I always assumed it would be a bit longer.
On average, 30 minutes.
On average, it's 30 minutes. You know...
that's just for a simple look.
Okay. But like a more elaborate
look, one, it could take like an hour.
Because there are so many different types of brushes
exactly.
and concealer and it literally looks like, some of them, it looks really thick.
Yeah.
How is anyone comfortable with that?
So to make the brushes are like soft. They are very soft. So like when it's being placed on your face, you don't really feel it.
No, I mean,
which one?
The thick makeup that you put on, carrying it, because I know the brushes, there are a ton of brushes, and even some designers have their own specific. Yeah.
Okay, so well, it depends on the person who is applying it. There's a makeup that can cover with just one drop of like foundation or something. Liquid, it can cover all your spots and everything. But there are some makeup that they have light coverage. You have to put on and put on and put on. So it's just about you getting the right product. Yes. If you don't get the right product, then you have to keep adding on, and then your face will become so heavy. Yeah. And
then you hit the Accra sun.
Exactly. Everything will be melting.
You know, I met a friend last week, and he was you know, he looked glowed up. His skin was looking,
Radiant,
nice.
yeah.
And I said, Jake, your skin's looking really, really cool. He said he put on some foundation.
Wow.
Some foundation and some small powder B. And he looked really, really,
Really
good.
good.
He looked really, really good. There's a makeup brand abroad called War Paint. It's makeup for men.
For men.
But more and more men are because obviously those societal pressures you're talking about, it's now also leaning on men.
On the men.
And so you want my friend's skin looked really, really,
Really
good. Really good. It wasn't heavy. I didn't know he had makeup on. He had to tell me. All I knew was that he was glowing, and he could also feel it, because as he anytime we walked past a pane of glass, then he himself was looking at himself like, look.
He couldn't believe it.
He couldn't believe it. Now, you talked about you mentioned about the little makeup they were doing
back then.
Back then. Do you know anything about the history of makeup?
Actually, no.
What about makeup that is indigenous to Africa? Does that exist? I mean, because obviously before the Europeans came and brought makeup, I'm sure Africans were beautifying themselves, if it's with their hair or...
I should think makeup even started from
Egyptian
Egypt.
times, yes.
They really liked, even if you watch
their eyes.
Yes, their eyes especially. Even in this Jesus films, this gospel films that they used to do, you see a lot of them put eyeliner.
They call it kohl or something.
Yeah, kohl. Yeah, exactly. Eye kohl. And then contouring and all of that. I should say it started from Egypt.
Which is Africa. But I was thinking of sort of our
culture.
Yes, our part of Africa. It would be really interesting to know what that. I mean, you see the artwork where they have like the dots and I think that might have been
our form of makeup.
Yes,
probably.
Because I mean, beauty standards obviously change, and so you were there watching these videos, and then you decided, this is what I want to do. Now, if I come to you as a client and I say, Winnie, I have a wedding to go to. What do we do from then on?
Okay, so when you come to me, you want to you have to attend the wedding. I first ask you of the date, the time you'll be able to come, all of that.
Forget that, we've arranged it. And also then also in my mind, I'm going to wear something bright, like maybe like the color of my t-shirt. So that's going to be the main color in my outfit.
Okay.
What do you do? I've arrived for my appointment.
So we decide whether you want a bold look or a nude look, a subtle look.
Sometimes do you advise? If I say to you, I don't know what I want.
Advice.
Okay.
Yes, advice. Sometimes I use your outfit to decide on the kind of makeup I'll do for you. If I see you're wearing not too out the kind of outfit, I'll have to make your face pop. Yes, but if your dress and your necklace and everything is already alarming, then I do something. I do something quite subtle for you. Yeah, subdue for you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Say if somebody came and they wanted something that would make them look like a clown, would you do it?
I ask you, what's the occasion? If the occasion calls for that, then why not?
Because I mean, I have a friend who she's darker than me. Like she's very dark. But homegirl loves bright red and yellows and blues, and she will put on big hooped earrings. And sometimes I'm like, girl, like tone the thing
down a bit.
But those are her colors, and she does not care. When she enters that church, she will go right to the front and sit at the front with them, so that the pastor will get a good look at her makeup.
Exactly.
So I've sat down, you've checked my what colors would you use on my skin, for instance?
Okay, so first have to prep your face. After prepping your face, moisturizing and all of that, then we try to find a foundation that fits your complexion. Yes, normally when you want to find your true complexion, you try to match it to your neck.
Okay.
So you put a foundation on your chin and drag it
So
down.
us lot going to the shops and putting it on our wrist is the wrong place.
It's the wrong place.
People,
It's
don't be
the
putting
wrong
foundation
place.
on your wrists again.
If you realize your wrist is even maybe fairer than your face. Yes, so the right place is on your neck, your face and neck.
Okay.
Then you try the testing.
Okay.
Then if you get your correct matching.
Because I also see a lot of people using foundation that is lighter than their skin tone. What is all that about?
Okay, so the whole makeup process, normally the foundation is the base. Yes, the foundation is the base. So that's where, after you do the foundation, that's where you contour and highlight.
Okay, take us through all of that.
So contouring is just trying to highlight the major spots on your face where when the light hits you, it will pop out a bit.
So where are some of those
Your
places?
forehead, underneath your eye, in your chin, and then the bridge of your nose.
Okay. And
Yes.
cheekbones or not?
No,
No,
just
it's just
underneath. Yeah.
Okay.
For the cheekbones, that's where you do the contouring.
Okay.
So it's like you put a darker shade or your own kind of shade, your complexion shade, on your cheekbones to create some kind of shadows.
Okay.
So the highlighting and the contouring, the highlights, you use a lighter, 2 to 3 shades lighter than your own skin complexion, and then you blend it. Then you add your contouring. That's darker. So
underneath
it.
So that it forms like a ridge.
Yes, exactly. To bring your cheekbones out and all of that. But then the secret is that you have to blend it. When you blend it, you blend the lighter shade into the darker shade. So at the end of the day, you don't end up looking fair dark.
Okay.
But it's all blended out. But at the end of the day, you still see like the spots you're supposed to see. Yes, that's it.
Okay. And I've also seen some people doing stuff down their nose.
Yes. So that's a contouring and highlight. So when you contour with the lighter shade on the bridge of your nose, then you try to use the contour, the darker shade
on the side.
On
that
the side.
slims down your
that
nose.
slims down the nose a bit.
Wow.
But all that, sometimes you see some people's makeup, one side is very dark and like they don't really blend it as they're supposed to.
So it's the blending that
Yes,
really takes the time.
exactly.
So when you're doing that, what? Because I read somewhere that you're supposed to really focus on one feature that stands out, and then you know the rest.
So the features that stand out are your forehead, underneath your eye, the bridge of your nose, and then your chin. So you're supposed to take your time, use the blending sponge or the brush to keep blending. Sometimes blending can take like 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
Just because you want it to really blend it smooth. Yes, you don't want harsh lines. That's the word, harsh lines. So harsh lines, you see dark, fair, that's not it. You have to really take your time to blend everything out.
And what about issues of people reacting to makeup? Because obviously, I presume you have a makeup kit. So when people come to you, there's ranges of makeup that you trust and you use. How do you know that it doesn't affect? You know, because some people react to things.
Yeah, exactly. So since some people have never tried makeup.
Yes.
So you first ask them, do you have an oily skin? Do you have a dry skin? Combination and stuff like that. So you have your products that you have. You have products for dry skin. You have products for oily skin and all of that. And then you also have products that can conceal all your acne and all of that.
So what I was thinking more was about the ingredients.
The ingredients. Well, for that one, we can't really tell.
So basically, it's
Yes.
like somebody comes to you, and if they happen to react, they happen to react.
Exactly.
What?
Unless they themselves have tried a particular makeup,
So they can bring their stuff
they
to
can
you.
bring the stuff.
But it sounds like you use a lot of things.
We do.
So once you started, what did your makeup kit look like? What was in it?
Okay, so I had foundations, I had my brushes, my powders, my finishing and setting spray.
Oh, there's a finishing and setting spray.
Yes.
So that stops the makeup
from falling or from melting. Yes.
You learn something new every day.
Yes. You need your lashes for clients who like to wear false lashes. You need your eyeshadows. You need your moisturizer. You have to moisturize everyone's face before you start. Whether you have a dry skin or oily, you just have to moisturize. Yes. So those are the basic things I had in my makeup kit.
And then of course, as you've developed further in the business, it grows.
It grows.
How did you select which makeup brands you would use? Because obviously there are a lot of brands out there.
Yes. So
or was it your mother's
you
influence?
hear from recommendations. People have used this. People you follow. I follow a lot of makeup artists. So
you use
I also
the Kylie's or the
Fenty Beauty
set. Although those Fenty Beauty sets are
really expensive,
but really nice. When you see like people when they've done the coloring, it's incredible.
Exactly. So for me personally, I like the Mary Kay products.
Okay.
Mary
But
Kay.
that's a tried and tested product.
Yes. So I really believe in it. Yes. So I prefer the Mary Kay products. I prefer.
Do they have the kind of bold kind? Mary Kay, do they do makeup? I suppose they've joined in and now do makeup for black skin.
Yes.
Because
yes. Now they
previously,
do. Yeah.
Because I also like the idea of companies like Fenty because they really think about the different range of skin tones that we have and the colors that work with it.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if this is true. As I said, I like watching videos online with, particularly with the drag queens. I love watching men put on makeup and the transformation, and then they throw their wigs on and all of that. How much do you think that influences women's makeup? Because women's makeup is getting more and more outlandish, isn't it? And for me, I kind of think the influence comes from there, and I find it interesting that men are influencing
the women rather.
The way women wear makeup when makeup was originally created. Although I'm sure sometime back in the 16th centuries and all of that, men too were sort of putting something on
I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were.
Until the macho-ness kind of, you know. But yeah, what do you think about that idea?
I don't think it's true. I think it's the women rather influencing the men more.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I really don't agree with you. Because, I mean, the whole thing about drag is to be outlandish.
Yeah.
So have you noticed that even some of them, even the blending you're talking about, they don't. They just have that there, that there, and it's very, very dramatic. And I see women, maybe they're doing it just because of what they're doing online, but I see makeup online that I think immediately I think of drag queens when I see it. Whereas there's other makeup that you see and you know that, oh, this is just something for this event, or that is not like a super dramatic dramatic look. Okay, Winnie, I think, like, even though you were talking about the highlighting and all of that, I'm thinking somebody sitting somewhere and just listening, thinking, okay, what does this mean? So I think afterwards maybe you should make me up small,
Sure,
and
sure.
then we can put it online, and then people can actually, follow the
Follow.
process. So like as you're doing it, then you can also be explaining
Explaining
what
it.
you're doing and stuff. I think that would be
Sure.
really, really fantastic. And also talk about some of the tools you're using and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, you've got some 3 juices sitting on the desk. This is the
Nectar juice.
Nectar juice.
Yes.
When did you start this business?
Okay, so we officially started last year, October. Last 2 years.
Okay.
2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
2019 October. Yeah, so we are currently in our second year.
So
Second year.
again, did you woke up and you said, "Oh, I'll make juices"?
No.
Tell me what led you to.
Well, I love juices. I love to drink fruit juice. Sobolo.
Yes.
Yes. And so whilst I was in school, University of Professional Studies, I started learning how to make sobolo. Yes, I learned it from my big sister. And then also I had a friend who was living on campus. She also used to do it for us whenever we go and visit her. So I also learned one or two from her. Yes, and then I started doing the sobolo. Then I moved from just sobolo to doing fruit juices as well.
Okay.
Yes, so I don't know if you can take one.
Oh, definitely. And this is the tropical sunshine
Sunset.
and that is pineapple, watermelon, and mango.
Yes.
What other flavors do you have?
So I do pineapple and ginger.
Which everybody does.
Yes. And then I also do the combination of beetroot, pineapple, a combination of beetroot, pineapple, and ginger.
That sounds amazing because I
Yes,
love beetroot.
beetroot.
I do beetroot with milk,
Wow. I haven't done that.
which is an interesting concept.
Yeah. And then there's beetroot with watermelon. Yes. So we basically do five flavors.
Flavors, yes.
The mixed fruits, that the tropical sunset, the funky, the mixed pineapple, watermelon, funky, the mixed pineapple and ginger, then the beetroots and pineapple,
Yes.
then
The
the beetroots
with
and watermelon. Yes. Any other flavor is requested. So when the customer requests for it, then we make it.
But
so
this is your standard.
yes, our standard.
What's different from between this and other juices? Like if I came and there were juices on the shelf,
Yeah.
what would make yours stand out?
This is freshly made. There are no preservatives, no added sugar.
So it comes to you frozen, or
Yeah, so when we juice it, we bottle it and then we freeze it.
which means that the moment, so literally, if once you open it, you got to drink it.
Yeah, you got to drink it. So that's why we do it in packages. So if we have to do it in a big gallon, yes, we ask that you drink it within a week.
Or like if you're having a party, or a family gathering, then those gallons are the
yes.
So again, tell me the process of this. You got up, not that you got up one day, but you like juices, and maybe you thought, oh, there's some flavors that aren't there on the market. I think I need to introduce this to the market. How do we go about this?
Okay, so well, before I started, like on a business level, I had to speak to one or two friends to ask about their opinion if people will really want juice, or people will really want a healthy sort of lifestyle living. Yes. So I had opinions from my dad's friends, my sisters.
So basically,
my
you
family,
did your research.
My research, yes, and I found that people really wanted freshly made juices. Yes. So that's how I started, and it's been good so far.
So on average, say in a day, or let's say in a week, what volume do you produce?
In a week, I'll say, let's use, I'll say we produce about 50 to 100 bottles.
Of this?
the 500 ml. We have 500. We have sizes, so like of all sizes, 50
Okay.
to 100.
100.
Yeah.
S- So I'm kind of imagining like a small factory. I mean, what does it look like
Okay.
in this
So
natural juice? It's not you in the kitchen with your
yeah.
family chopping out vegetables, chopping out fruit and
Yeah.
throwing them into
So
the.
currently we operate from home. We
Okay.
don't really have a working space,
Space.
so I'm using our kitchen
Oh
for
wow!
that.
To
Yes.
produce that amount
Yes.
each week?
Yes.
That's fantastic. And how do you source your? So obviously not all the fruits are seasonal.
Yes, exactly.
So what? How?
So, okay. So, with this juice, for example, it has mango.
Yes.
Yes, mango is very seasonal.
Yes.
Yes. So, when it's not in season, then we use passion fruit
Instead. Okay.
Yes. So we swap
So
the fruits once in a while,
depending on
the
the
season.
season.
Exactly.
Okay. You don't freeze a whole
No, no,
pile
no,
of
no,
fruit
no.
and.
Normally, you freeze the fruits when you are doing smoothies. Smoothies, you can freeze the fruits and then use it and blend your fruits together. But with the juice, because it's frozen, you don't really get all the juice extracts
Okay.
from the fruits. But if it's for smoothies, then you can go ahead and then freeze your fruits. But because you need the liquid, the real liquid, plain liquid from the fruits, you have to use fresh and ripe fruits.
Fresh
And ripe.
Ripe.
Yes.
The fruits need to be ripe,
Ripe.
obviously, to get the sweetness
Yes,
because you
exactly.
don't add anything.
Any sweetener, yeah.
Wow. So, what do you have big industrial blenders in your kitchen or what?
We have a commercial juicer.
Uh-huh.
It's quite small, but then it juices a lot.
And on average, how many hours a day do you dedicate to that to get those 100 bottles during the week?
We can use close to 6 hours.
A day?
Yes.
And that yields how many bottles?
So so when we go to the markets, we come back home, we wash our fruits.
So like you go to the market how many
Yes.
times a week?
Okay, so we do it weekly.
Uh-huh.
We take orders weekly. So once we have our weekly orders, then we go to the market and then get our fruits, yes, and come back home and work on it. So within the week, that's when we are doing the
100.
deliveries.
Okay.
Yes, so we juice in one day.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then we bottle and everything in one day. Then the next day, we distribute.
Okay.
Yes. So within the week, we can be distributing to those who place orders within the week.
Okay, so literally it's actually one day's work to
Yes.
get the juice and
Yes.
everything prepared, and then you spend a couple of days during the week
Yes, exactly.
delivering, and then the makeup kind of also slow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really nice. I think financial independence for women and young girls is really, really important, and
Yeah.
the fact that yes, you have your skill, your craft that you do, but the idea of also adding something on top to you know help balance. So
balance
if
it.
one is going is
Down.
not to, then you know the other
Yeah.
one and I really like that. I'm meeting more and more women
Doing that.
who are doing that thing, and I think it's really, really important. So tell me, if people want to get some of your juices, place orders, give them contact details.
Okay, so you can reach us on 054 150 3781,
Okay.
or you can follow us on our Facebook and then Instagram page.
And
You
what's that?
can DM, leave a message.
Oh, you're at Instagram. You're at Nectar
Nectar
Juice
Juice
_GH.
GH. Yes.
Okay. And
So-
so people make their orders. How many days in advance, or you take orders on a specific day?
Yes. We take orders normally during the weekend.
Uh-huh.
Then we can work on the orders in the week,
Okay.
like Monday or Tuesday. Yes, that's when we normally do the juice. Then from Tuesday to Friday, we distribute. Then we take new orders during the
The week.
weekend. Yes,
Okay, or
exactly.
repeat orders.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about obviously how are you planning to expand it? Where do you see it in the next couple of years?
Okay, so right now we have given ourselves
Who is this we people that you keep on this we people?
we and my business partner. Her name is Judith.
Uh-huh.
Judith Asampana. Yes, she's a close friend of mine, and we decided to do this business together. Yes. So
Did it need a big initial investment?
actually, it didn't. It really didn't. Which said okay, it didn't really need a big investment. What we did was gather money. We gave ourselves time to gather a specific amount of money. Let me say 1,000 cedis.
So what did you do? This is interesting because this will be good tip for other entrepreneurs outside out there listening. You talked about the fact that you made a plan first.
Yes.
So what apart from doing the research amongst like your friends and your family's friends and saying, okay, there is a space in the market for this specific product, then what else did you research?
Okay, we researched on how others also do their pricing. Their pricing. What's like other people are already in the market, how they price their products.
So you went around the supermarket looking at the prices.
Yes, exactly. Or some we call those who serve at occasions, especially.
Yes.
Yes, we also wanted to serve at occasions, so we called to ask how is their pricing done, and they told us that the price per person per head.
Okay.
Yes, so that's how we also factored it into
To yours.
yes. So that's how we've been doing research.
And then you obviously did your research, came up to an idea of this is what the starting capital should look like.
Should be.
And then you gave yourself a time frame to be able to.
And even before we came up with the money, we made sure, like, because you can just come and say you're starting a business, but then there's nothing that we're going to offer at that time. So when we got our money, we made sure we got a program. Yes. So we got our first program before we started putting things together, because that would ginger us to start properly. Yes. So if you don't have anything to ginger you, to move you, then there's no need, because we could have just bought the items and be sitting at home. There's no order coming, nothing of that sort. So we had to get like some sort of orders or a program that we were going to start with. So that's how we started.
And the partnership, who's in charge of what? Because also this is another thing, because which is important, because a lot of entrepreneurs are doing things on their own. But once you get into partnerships, people bring in different skills and people are in charge of different things.
Yes. So mostly I'm in charge of social media and some of our finances, and then my other partner, she's in charge of making sure things are set right, like
the quality control.
Yeah, exactly.
How does she do that? She'll be testing like each
yes, and then we also have someone else, my big sister, who
is a taster.
Yeah, she tasted on my dad.
Okay, that's a cool job.
Yes.
How much are you paying for a job like that? Because I think it's something that I think I could potentially do. Very nice.
Yes.
Oh, Winnie, that's just fantastic. I really like your business acumen.
Thank you.
I'm also going to, you know what I've actually thought of making. So I have pets at home, and I always used to buy their food from like the supermarket and that. And then the prices just started skyrocketing. Can you imagine a cat eating a tin of food, 20 cedis a day?
A day. Wow.
I mean, come on. So I went online and I started making food for my pets. And I go to the market, I buy all my stuff, I did my research, and I make food for them. And then the other day I was at ShopRite and I noticed that the tin of food had been reduced. So I said, oh, let me buy one since they used to love
Yeah.
it. I took it home. They all refused
They
to
all
eat
refuse
it.
to eat it.
They all
Wow.
refused to eat it. And I thought, maybe there's a career,
Around it.
around this thing for me. And of course, now
Yeah.
having met you,
Mhm.
I'm thinking I might just, put that
Mhm.
into play. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming. Finally,
Mhm.
finally. Give us some makeup tips. Give us some makeup and skincare tips.
Okay.
Like, give us 5.
Okay. So let me talk from experience.
Yes.
Maybe someone who's just going through it. If you start using a product for maybe 1, 2, 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe on the fourth time it's not working on your skin anymore. You can try some skincare products, and then the next few days you start getting blemishes and acne and all of that. I advise you to stop using it and then go in for a neutral um skincare product that has no real that doesn't really have a lot of chemicals in
Mm-hmm.
it, and just used to apply for a while. For a lot, if you can even continue using it, your skin will come back
To
to,
its previous glory.
yes, exactly. And also you can, it's not every time that you buy. It's not every time that you buy. You can try your hands on making your own handmade soap for your bathing, for your cleansing, for your
But what's the
exfoliating.
process of something like that? Doesn't it take a long time for
It
you to make
doesn't.
soap?
It doesn't. All you just need is a normal local soap, black soap.
Uh-huh.
Then add, for exfoliating, you can just add sugar, turmeric, and some oils.
Do you know what is nice?
Or,
Baking soda.
yeah, baking soda too.
Baking soda is really good
Yes,
exfoliant.
exactly. So I want to let people practice
Like do
making their own.
DIY, doing their
Yes,
own thing.
yes. Because I feel like if you do it, you will know how your skin reacts, and then you can
And then you also know what you're putting in there,
in
because
there.
you look at the back of a product and there's some ingredients you don't know how to
Yes,
pronounce, not to talk of,
exactly.
mention.
Yes. And when it comes to makeup, please do not sleep in your makeup. Please do not sleep in this. Make sure you always cleanse your face, clean your face after you come back from your program. Cleanse your face, get rid of all the chemicals from your face, and let the skin
Breathe.
breathe a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. And what else?
2 more.
Uh, Find your right foundation color. Make sure.
And as you told us, between our
Yes,
face and our
your
neck.
neck. Find your right foundation color.
Okay, the last one I'm going to ask you.
Mhm.
When it comes to makeup,
Mhm.
which types of makeup are worth spending money on,
Mm.
and which ones aren't? Like, for instance, is it more important to spend good money on a foundation than a mascara? What are those makeup items that it's important that you buy good stuff, and which are the ones that Jale you can buy roadside and be free?
I think that one is preference. Some people, they don't really put on foundation, but or makeup, but they always want their eye to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So with those people, you have to buy mascara, eyeliner, whatever,
Good
to make
quality.
good quality to make your eye pop out. If you are the type that your interest is more on your face, you don't want your blemishes to show, your acne to show, then invest in a good type of foundation. Yes. And also when you're contouring or you're highlighting, please minimize the use of the shimmers.
Hey, the shimmers. Uh-huh.
The shimmers sometimes it's too,
It's like a glare when
I
you come.
mean,
You just be bouncing in your eyes
exactly,
and stuff.
exactly. So just try to minimize it. There are some people that no matter what you do, their nose has to be shining. That's what they want.
A shiny nose.
Yes.
Ah, I thought normally people didn't want a shiny nose, but
Now they want it.
anyway, as I say, things go around, so
Yeah.
that's important. Anyway, thank you very,
So
very, very
much.
much. Also, if somebody wants you've given us like how to contact you for the
Yeah.
juices. What about for makeup?
With the makeup, it's sparkle underscore with underscore Dabi.
Eh?
Sparkle with Dabi. Dabi is
Okay.
my middle name,
Yes.
Dabi.
Yes.
So sparkle underscore with
Dabi.
underscore Dabi. Yes. And you can also call me on 02058203444.
Okay.
Yes.
And but at the moment you're focusing more on models. But of course, if
Yes.
somebody wants
Yes.
something else,
Yes.
you do that. Winnie, thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
joining us. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with me.
Yay.
Okay, people. So that was Winnie, and with makeup and juices, natural juices, which is good for your skin, and of course, she can make you up beautifully. And both male and female,
Yes.
male and female. If you want to put a little makeup on,
Yeah.
Winnie's your lady. Okay, people. So we've reached the end of the show.